Hey fellas, Snorkel MMA here, and welcome to my UFC 310 Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura predictions. 10 is actually my favorite number because I'm born on October 10th, 10-10, so this is a blessed card. It's pretty good. Going on from the prelims to the main, I'm going to start off with the first fight of the night. Kennedy Nzechukwu, I do know who he is, I just can't pronounce his name, versus Brzeski. So Kennedy's coming in as the minus 520 favorite. I'm going to go Kennedy by round 1 KO. I feel like Brzeski is pretty shit. He's just pretty shit. Don't really know how to elaborate. He's just not good. He's just like a typical low-skilled heavyweight. Nzechukwu Kennedy. I'm just going to call him Kennedy. He has the light heavyweight skill. He was light heavyweight prior. He wanted a little bit of a run when he first came in, and then he got some losses back-to-back, and now he just went up to heavyweight just to, take advantage of the low skill there, I guess. And also he's a massive guy, so it kind of makes sense. And I think round 1 KO, I think, Brzeski got knocked out by Waldo Cortez Acosta. And, he does have knockout power. Like, Waldo knocked out someone on the Contender Series and stuff. But, I feel like Kennedy Nzechukwu just hits way harder than Waldo Cortez Acosta because, in the later bit of his career, or like currently, Waldo is not getting KOs and he's kind of doesn't really seem to have that much power. So I feel like, Kennedy has way more power and he's more technical than Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think Waldo Cortez Acosta is like a better, all-round mixed martial artist, like grapple. He has more of a grapple threat. But I think Kennedy hits harder and I see him getting the round 1 KO. Okay, moving down to Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. So Chase Hooper's coming in as the minus 770, huge favorite. And Clay Guida's actually going to be 43 the day after the fight. I'm pretty sure, it'll be the date would be his birthday here in Australia, but we get it on Sundays. So I think on Saturday it'd be 43 the day after. I'm going to go Chase Hooper by round 1 submission. I feel like Hooper has a way more dangerous ground game. And, he has the youth. And I feel like Chase Hooper's stand-up is actually a bit slept on. Like, he went toe-to-toe with Borshev. I feel like how it's going to go is Clay Guida will rush in, at the start of the fight, the early fight. He'll be rushing in, maybe clipping Hooper. Maybe he'll even rock Hooper. Just because, he kind of has that... Clay Guida kind of has that just rush him style. Just to try and catch people off guard. But I think Chase Hooper will survive the early... aggression, and then Clay Guida will slow down, and I think Chase Hooper will either like rock him, knock him down, and then submit him on the ground, or he'll just straight up take him down against the fence, and then I think he'll just sub him round 1. Okay, moving down to Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. So Max Griffin's coming in as the minus 155 slight favorite, and I'm going to go Max Griffin by decision. I think this fight could go either way. I could see Chiesa getting him down and subbing him early. But I just feel like Max Griffin has more threats, Like, he's pretty good on the feet, and he has good top control. He doesn't really have submission threat, but he just has more ways to win. Chiesa only really has submissions, And his wrestling is pretty dog water. I feel like Chiesa will probably get him down, but then Griffin will have enough, have a good enough submission defense to not get submitted early. And he'll just reverse the position and get on top. I think that'll happen at least 1 or 2 rounds, and also I think Max Griffin will keep it on the feet 1 round, and he'll win all 3 rounds. I don't think Max Griffin will reverse Chiesa and get the sub, which is what happens to Chiesa a lot. Like, he has a lot of sub losses just because, he's a dirty fucking crotch sniffer. Nah, he's alright. He's alright. But, I feel like Max Griffin will be, he's a grizzled vet. He has that fight IQ, marauder IQ, and I feel like he'll be able to survive the submission attempts and just, reverse the position, get top control, and then he'll just keep Chiesa down. Probably won't sub him because he has pretty shit subs. But these guys are pretty similar. They're both kind of like welterweight gatekeepers. They only really lose to like actual contenders. Like, they usually beat people that aren't contenders. But Chiesa has lost to worse competition than Max Griffin. Like, Max Griffin's only lost to, like, recently Michael Morales and Neil Magny. Neil Magny usually beats people that aren't like legit, and Michael Morales is legit. But Chiesa lost to Holland, and I feel like Max Griffin will probably beat Holland. Like, Holland's kind of like, hit or miss. He can show up on a night, but I feel like if you give him any type of push back, he's just going to give up, and he's like easy to beat. So yeah, I'm going to go Max Griffin by decision. Okay, moving down to Cody Durden versus Joshua Van. Joshua Van's coming in as the -165 slight favorite, and I'm going to be going Van by decision. This is a very close fight. I'm a Van fan. I don't know if anyone's seen my recent predictions, but every time Van's in, I'm a ride or die Van Daminator. And I think this is a very close fight, yeah. I think Durden has a bit more finishing potential. Like I could see Durden finishing Van on the feet late round 2, early round 3, or I could see him getting him down and submitting Van. I don't see the submitting, very unlikely, but I could see him catching Van. Like, Van got caught by Charles Johnson, but Charles Johnson's legit, bro. He has like one of the, he has probably one of the hardest hitters in the flyweight division, I'd say. And I feel like he only really got Van. Like, Van dominated in the first rounds, and he just came out, and Van was surprised by his aggression in round 3. I think he thought he kind of mentally defeated Charles Johnson, and I think he's going to learn from that. He'll always expect people to come out when they're behind now. I don't think he's going to get caught off guard by Cody Durden. So yeah, I think Van is just going to piece him up all 3 rounds. Maybe he'll get clipped and rocked, but I think he'll survive. Maybe, grab on and just hold on and recover, and then find his way back up and keep it on the feet. Yeah, I think Van by decision, bro. A lock, I think. Moving down to Chris Weidman versus Eryk Anders. Anders is -115 favorite, near even. And yeah, I agree. This is a coin flip ass matchup. But I am going to go Weidman by decision. I feel like Eryk Anders, he only really got those wins early on in his career because he had good power and he had pretty good speed. I feel like his speed has gone down a lot and his power has also gone down. I think Weidman's better than him technically. And, he's just, better technically. So I feel like the knockout threat is not going to be that prevalent because Anders has slowed down quite a lot as his career's wrapping up. And yeah, I think that it'll be very close split decision win for Weidman. I think he's just a little bit more technical. I see it playing out in the feet. I feel like Weidman will just have an advantage on the feet just with speed-wise and just a little bit crisper. But if it goes down to the ground, I could also see Weidman controlling him. Yeah, I feel, very coin flippy, but I'm going to go Weidman. Moving down to Randy Brown versus Bryan Battle. Bryan Battle's coming in as the -250 moderate favorite, and I am going to be picking Bryan Battle by KO round 2. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bryan Battle. I love his style. I love him on the mic. He's just a fucking, just a typical fucking New York guy, bro. He's just chill. I like him. That Paris speech was fucking funny. I don't know. He just has some personality, bro. You can tell he's actually tough. He's actually a fighter. Like, he actually has personality and also like his style, bro. It's just like relentless. Like, he's not the best technically, but he just wears people down just by always going forward. And yeah, the way I see it happening is I think that, I don't know why I'm doing that. I think that Randy Brown will be keeping it at range successfully, like, leg kicks, jabs, keeping Bryan Battle at range, circling around. I think Bryan Battle will be going forward constantly. Randy Brown will be leg kicking, jabbing. He'll get pushed back to the cage, circle out. He'll be doing that for maybe all of round 1. Maybe like half round 1, and then I think he'll start to slow down a little, and Bryan Battle will catch him with some hooks when he's circling and like rock him. And then late round 1 or round 2, he'll be pushing him back. Randy Brown won't be circling as well because, he's getting caught. He's getting damaged and slowing down. And then I think that Bryan Battle will just wear him down like he always does and just finish him against the fence. I think like body shots, maybe a knee against the fence, maybe like an elbow against the fence, clinching. Yeah, like in close against the fence when Randy Brown's getting too tired to like circle out. That's how I see it happening, and I can see that in my head. I feel like it's going to happen, bro. I think I'm going to bet Bryan Battle by KO. I can just see it happening. I could, however, see Randy Brown getting Bryan Battle early, like getting him with a really fucking crisp, like straight, like a power straight when Bryan Battle's coming in, and then rock him and then knock him out, but I don't see it happening. Bryan Battle did get that. He did get head kicked right at the start, I think in like his first fight, and he got like knocked out instantly. But other than that, he hasn't really displayed a weak chin, He's very fucking tough, and he just keeps going forward. But I could see it happening. Hope it doesn't, bro. I love Bryan Battle, and Randy Brown's kind of lame. IMO. I don't really like his style. I don't know. I'm just a fucking Bryan Battle fanboy, I guess. Okay, moving down to Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Evloev's coming in as the minus 245 moderate favorite. I think this is a very close fight. And I'm going to go against the favorite here. I'm going to go Ajamain Sterling by decision. You know, I'll get it out the way. Every single person is fucking saying it. But obviously this should be on the main card. I think this should be on the main card over Kron, Gracie, Bryce, Mitchell. Like, everyone is saying that. It doesn't make any sense for that shit to be there. I'll talk about that later. But I'll get that out of the way. It's just kind of like, I don't really feel like going into it just because I feel like everyone's talking about it. And if you're finding this video, you know, you're obviously know about MMA because I doubt you just randomly stumble upon this. So you've heard. You know, it's fucking bullshit. This is not on the main card. I get that they're both boring fighters, but Ajamain's a former champ. Evloev is fucking one of the top contenders in featherweight. They're both top contenders. This is probably going to be, after the Volk fight, you know, this is probably going to be the #1 contender. So I don't know why this isn't the main card. Weird, bruh. But to justify my Aljo underdog pick, I just think Aljo has more, he's more dangerous on the ground. Whereas Evloev, he has really good top pressure. But if it goes to the ground, I feel like Aljo will be able to threaten submissions more effectively. I don't think he'll get them, but I think that Evloev will have to respect the submission threat, and he'll have to give up dominant position. And I think that Aljo on the ground will be able to reverse it just with submission threats. Because I think Evloev is not used to people on the ground actually threatening him. You know, everyone's just trying to get back up. Whereas Aljo on the ground, he'll actually be trying to get top position, and I think he's a bit more dangerous submission-wise. Yeah, so I just see Aljo being able to reverse Evloev with, you know, the danger of him getting subbed. But I think if it's a, you know, a grappler versus grappler, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman type shit, where it stays on the feet, I do think that Evloev will probably win. I think he's a little bit of a better striker than Ajamain. Aljamain's striking is really fucking goofy, and I think it's his striking is very much reliant upon the guy fearing a takedown, and if Evloev's not fearing a takedown, I feel like he'll just piece Aljo up on the feet. But I don't think Aljo will accept that. I feel like he'll always be pushing forward for the takedown. I think Evloev would just revert back to, you know, his instincts, and he wouldn't like fucking get underhooks and keep it on the feet. Like, he'd go down, follow him down, and try and reverse, like, just on instinct. So I think it will play on the feet, and I think Aljo's a little bit more dangerous on the feet, and he can use that danger to get the dominant position. It's fucked. That's not even that. It's fucked up. I just realized. I mean, I realized it, but it's kind of fucked up when you think about it. That's not even the prelim headliner. They have fucking Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo above this in the prelim order. Like, what? Whatever. But talking about it, onto Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. Gorimbo is coming in as the minus 210 moderate favorite, and I'm gonna go Gorimbo by decision. I really did not like Luque's last fight. He kind of just shelled up and let Buckley finish him. I feel like he did not want to take damage on the ground, and he just wanted the ref to stop it. And I think how I see the fight playing out, I see Luque will be keeping Gorimbo, you know, at range, maybe even rocking him a little bit early, but I think Gorimbo will eventually push him against the fence and get him down. And then I think that Luque will not take any risks to get back up because he doesn't want to take damage. Like, he's not going to get up on his knee and risk getting, like, fucking, you know, clocked. Or he's not going to risk, like, you know, fucking letting the hooks out and getting, like, elbowed. You know, like, he's not going to let Gorimbo get up and, like, get elbow position. I think he's too scared, and he's not going to risk enough to get back up. So I think that Gorimbo will get him down all 3 rounds, and he just. Fuck, bro. So yeah, I see that happening at least 2 out of the 3 rounds. Maybe Luque will get the first round, just keeping him at range. But yeah, eventually he'll get taken down, and I think, yeah, what I said, he won't risk enough to get back up. Okay, moving down to Anthony Smith versus Dominick Reyes. So Reyes is coming in as the minus 340 moderate favorite, and I'm going to go Reyes by KO round 2. I know, you know, everyone hates on Anthony Smith, but it's justified. You know, he's pretty shit. You know what I always notice about Anthony Smith that I don't really hear talked about? I'm getting trolled by the dogs, bro. The dogs are just bark maxing at me. Yeah. What I notice about Smith that I don't really see people talk about is, like, his guard is so goofy. Peter Yan has a similar guard as well, where they kind of just, like, do, like, this, and they're just, like, looking for, like, it's, like, I feel like it's such a shit guard. Like, how do you even counter through that? It's such, like, a defense max guard. Like, it's like RuneScape going defense, no attack. Smith doesn't have enough power now even to chin Reyes, who's extremely chinny. So I feel like his only chance is really a sub. And, you know, Reyes has insane takedown defense. Like, in that Jones fight, you know, Jones gets deep as fuck. and he still doesn't get taken down. And, you know, obviously, Jones is a really good wrestler, bro. He took down DC. He's taken like everyone he's ever versed. And Reyes has like godlike takedown defense. So yeah, there's no way, no fucking way Anthony Smith's taking him down. Maybe Anthony Smith could rock him and he goes down, he follows him down and subs him, but that's like so unlikely, I feel like. So yeah, I think like, yeah, the heavy KO threat will make Anthony Smith shell up the really shit guard he has, and then Reyes will like get body shots or go around the guard, and yeah, I think he'll knock him out. I feel like he'll damage him really bad round 1. It'll be getting kind of sad, and then he'll KO him round 2. And then I think, yeah, Smith probably retires after this. I don't know, he could hang around for a bit and just keep farming, you know, just keep farming money and just verse unranked guys for a bit. I don't know if Anthony Smith would do that, though. I feel like, you know, he's kind of like, he wants to be a contender type of guy more than just hanging around. Okay, moving down to the main card. It's Nate Landwehr versus Do Hoi Choi. Nate Landwehr is the minus 165 favorite, and I'm going to go Landwehr by KO round 1. This will be a good fight. You know, these guys have so many fucking performance of the night bonuses. Like, holy shit, bro. If you look at their topology, it's just like ribbon maxing. But the way I see it is Landwehr will come out really fucking aggressive, and Do Hoi Choi will not be able to withstand it, I think. I feel like Landwehr's going to knock him out with a really goofy, ugly-looking combo. But I do think that if Do Hoi Choi can survive the first round, he's way better technically, and he'll just piece him up for 3 rounds. And I think he'll probably, he'll just get like a unanimous decision if it gets out of round 1, I think. But yeah, I just feel like Landwehr's just going to come out autism charge, just get him against the fence, and just do like a really ugly combo and knock him out. I just see that happening. Okay, moving down to Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Bryce Mitchell's coming in as the minus 600, huge favorite, and I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell by decision. Obviously, you know, this should be fucking Ajamain, Evloev. I guess they're just trying to make money off the Gracie name, even though Kron's shit. Yeah, well, I'm not going to go too much into it, you know. Everyone thinks this should be on the prelims. Fuck, these dogs just keep barking, bro. It's just taking ages to get through because of it. I'm just going to go through the dogs barking. I'm sorry, but I just want to get this done. And oh my god, these dogs are just crazy. Okay, so, yeah, I think what's going to happen is Bryce Mitchell's going to have, you know, he has better wrestling, of course, and I feel like his jiu-jitsu is strong enough to not get caught in submissions. So if Kron Gracie gets it down, I think that Mitchell will just, you know, have really like heavy, you know, like no room to move top pressure, and he'll just negate any subs. And on the feet, I think that he'll just completely obliterate Kron Gracie. Like, you know, Mitchell has pretty clean, not clean, but, you know, better than Kron Gracie stand-up. And yeah, I feel like it won't be like a Charles Jourdain where he'll just completely ignore the ground game. He might just do the same thing Charles Jourdain did, where he just like, if he scoots towards him, he just fucking makes the ref stand him up. But I think if Kron Gracie gives Bryce Mitchell a really advantageous top position, he'll take it and he'll just control him. So yeah, I don't see how Kron Gracie wins this. I think this is kind of a layup for Bryce Mitchell just because he got fucking that really devastating KO by what the fuck's that fucking guy's name? The dwarf. Oh, I'm just blanking on his name right now so hard. I can't remember, but everyone knows who I'm talking about. The really devastating Bryce Mitchell KO where he's on the ground like a fish. What the fuck's his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting it, bro. He's like one of the top guys. Fucking Josh Emmett, of course. That is a very, you have to admit, Josh Emmett is an extremely, like, generic name. Whatever, yeah. That's the way I see that playing out. Okay, moving down to Ciryl Gane versus Alexandre Volkov 2. Gane is the minus 260 moderate favorite. And I'm going to go against that. I'm picking some dogs here, but I just see it in my mind's eye. I'm going to go Volkov by decision. Yeah, I watched their last fight, and it was extremely competitive, you know. In their first fight, it was a 5-rounder, and Gane took a while to get going, and I think rounds were very close. Like, he could have given that to Volkov, and I think Volkov won round 1 and 2, and then Gane kind of took over. 3 was kind of questionable, but definitely Gane 4-5. And yeah, I feel like this 3-round is really advantageous to Volkov. Also, Gane has, you know, taken a year off, doing like French fucking movies and shit. So his eyes not completely on the ball, whereas Volkov, you know, he's grinding, bro. He knows this is probably his last push because he's getting pretty old, and he knows this is probably his last, you know, push to become heavyweight champ, which is obviously like his main goal in life is that. I think Gane's kind of, I feel like he's always been kind of half in, half out. He has other shit on his mind, and he's not completely committed. He's just very naturally talented. But, hard work beats skill type shit. And I think that Volkov will squeak this out. I think he'll win round 1 and 2, and then Gane will probably come back and win round 3. But I think it'll be probably a split decision Volkov, but it'll be clear that he won round 1 and 2, and it won't be controversial. Okay, moving down to the co-main. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Garry. Shavkat's coming as the minus 350 moderate favorite, and I am going to be picking Shavkat by submission. I think late, maybe like around 4. Okay, so I think this is a very close matchup. I think a lot of people are kind of saying that. It's just kind of the casuals that think that Rakhmonov's just going to walk through him. The casuals think I think a lot of people think he's Mongolian, bro. He's not even Mongolian. He's like Kazakhstanian. I don't know why everyone's doing this Genghis Khan comparison. He's not even fucking Mongolian. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. But I think if this was a 3-round fight, I think I would pick Ian Garry. I think I definitely would pick Ian Garry. I think that Ian Garry will be able to keep him at range a lot of the fight. But I just don't see how he can keep him at range for 25 minutes. I think if he ever gets caught against the fence and can't circle out, like he gets like clipped circling, or he just, he can't get away, I think Shavkat will probably finish him, bro. I feel like if Shavkat will drop him and submit him, if he ever can't get away from him. And I just don't see how he can evade and keep him at range for 25 minutes. It's just going to be fucking impossible, I feel like. I don't know. I could see it going that he keeps him at range for 3 out of the 5, and then maybe Shavkat takes him down 2 of the rounds and he just manages just to hold on and he wins a really close split decision just by not getting finished on the ground. But I think if he gets him trapped against the fence and he clinches him and gets him in the knees, he can knock him out with knees to the body or elbows or some shit. I just see Shavkat has so many more ways to win, and Ian Garry's win seems kind of unlikely to me, that he's going to keep Shavkat at range for 25 minutes. Shavkat's dangerous as fuck, and that's just a long time to keep him at range. But I could see it happening. But it just seems so unlikely to me. So I am going to be picking Shavkat. But something inside me wants to put money on Garry, even though I just don't see how he can keep him at range for that long. I feel like when people win by keeping someone at range the whole fight, it's because the guy gives up. He'll keep him at range for 3 rounds. They'll both be getting tired and they'll give up. But I just don't see Shavkat giving up. He'll never give up trying to push Garry against the fence. And Garry is going to be expending so much more energy than Shavkat circling around the whole fight. I just don't see how he can sustain it for 25 minutes. Moving down the card to the main event, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. So Pantoja is coming in as the minus 250 moderate favorite. I'm going to go Pantoja by submission. I think late as well. Maybe 4 or 5, maybe round 3. I do think people are kind of putting a lot of stock in Asakura, and I don't really know if it's warranted, He's only been in Ryzen, which, it's a step down from UFC. And it's not even like he was completely dominant in Ryzen. He only just got the title in Ryzen on his second attempt. And he didn't beat the guy that he lost to on his first attempt, which is actually a really good Ryzen. He beat, the guy he beat was good, but he wasn't even, tippy top, And, he lost, 3 times in the org. Pantoja's beaten, every fucking UFC flyweight, pretty much, every, contender. And yeah, I feel like he's just a level above Asakura. I feel like you have to assume he's a level above Asakura. If Ryzen is a step down from UFC and, Asakura's losing by KO and shit in Ryzen. So yeah, I do think Asakura is a dangerous striker. And, but the problem is he's versing Pantoja, and Pantoja's got a fucking granite chin, bro. He'll take you'll get cracked. You'll be holy fuck. And he'll just keep going forward and push people back. And, obviously, Pantoja has the heavily grappling advantage, and I don't think Pantoja's going to be getting, clowned on the feet. I just feel like Asakura will be hitting way harder. So, yeah, I feel like Pantoja will eventually get him down, push him against the fence, or maybe, he'll catch a kick and trip him and, flip him or some shit, and he'll get him down to the ground, and Asakura will be getting tired, He was fighting at bantamweight in Ryzen as well, so he's going to be cutting more weight, so he's going to be getting tired. He's going to be losing He's going to be losing power on his shots because Pantoja's going to be eating them. And then eventually he'll get taken down and submitted, I think. I feel like he won't be able to defend Pantoja's submissions. I could, however, see it going to decision because Pantoja doesn't even want to risk going for submissions, and he just has, crazy control on the ground. He doesn't want to risk anything. He could just go to decision. I feel like that's what kind of Pantoja's MO. He doesn't really risk anything. He won't risk a position to go for a sub. But I feel like Asakura will just be so tight that the subs will be free. And I think that Pantoja will get the sub late. Okay, guys. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. This should be a good card. Very good card. Last UFC pay-per-view of the year. I am going to be having a video soon on Ian Garry. I think after this event's over, or maybe a little bit before, maybe in a few days. I've had this cooking at an Ian Garry video for a long time, and I wanted to just like wait until Ian Garry had a fight up, so he's more relevant. But it's a detective video, and I'm pretty sure you can guess what I'm going to be what I'm going to be going into. I'm going to be uncovering the myth, or is it a myth? The Ian Garry CUCK myth. I don't think I can say it. I'm going to get demonetized, but yeah. I've had this cooking for a long time. I've been doing a lot of research, and I think this video is going to pop off. So look out for that, and I will see you next week for that, and also I'll be doing a recap on this next week. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.